Okay, so I found the solution sheet. The solution goes like this. First, let's do it on the right first. Diba, remember our answer is 5 halves. And that's 2.5. 2.5 minus 20, that's supposed to be negative, ano yun? Negative 17.5. Negative 3 times 2.5, that's ano yun? Negative 7.5. Dividing that out, you're supposed to get 7/3. Ito dapat ang reference sa sagot namin. Pero on the left-hand side, we got some type of extraneous solution. We know that 3 times 2.5 gives you 7.5. Minus 8 to give you negative 0.5. 2.5 divided by negative 0.5 is negative 5. Diba? Negative 5. On the second solution, we have, ano yun? We have this, 37 times 2.5 minus 120. Actually, to be honest, we should have distributed pa rin the negative 37. Kasi to be honest, that negative 37 goes within the entire group. Kasi to remember, negative 37 times 2.5 and then what you hold is times minus 120. Diba? Negative 37 times 2.5, that's supposed to be, ano yun? What's the answer we multiply negative 37 point? What's the answer we multiply negative 37? So, ito yun. Negative 37 times 2.5. We should get this answer. Then, minus 120. Diba? We're supposed to get that answer. Pero it's plus eh. Kasi I distributed everything in the group. So that's why we're supposed to get 27.5. Yun dapat ang sagot. Hindi siya, ano yun, hindi siya negative, it's positive. Diba remember negative? Negative times negative is negative. So dapat it should be positive. Ano yung ginawa ko? Yan, plus 120. So that's supposed to be 27.5. So ito dapat yung sagot. Positive 27.5. Tapos 2.5 squared, we know that's 6.25. Diba? Diba? Type it in your calculator. 6.25 times negative 9 to give you negative 2.75. Diba? Gets ko na kasi ito ba yung memang ginawa ko? 2.5 times squared. And that's 6.25. So that's negative 2.75. Then we add our answer by 24. We should get this answer of 21.25. So therefore, the answer on the right is supposed to be 27.5 over 21.25. We need to divide both sides by 0.25. Let's see if we get it. By 0.5. Diba? By 25 first. Diba? So let's see if we get the answer. So, diba remember we have here, and diba remember on the numerator we have, what's the numerator? 37 times negative times 2.5 plus 120. Minus 120 pala. Sorry. 37 times 2.5 minus 120. Nope. That's negative 27.5. Negative 27.5. That's in the numerator, diba? Kasi diba remember the first one, we got negative 5. So, negative 27.5. And then, on the denominator, we have 9 times 2.5 squared. We know that 2.5 squared is 6.25. And that's what we did, diba? So, that's 2.5 squared times negative 9. To give it an answer of negative 56.25. Yun, diba? And then your answer is added by 24. You should get this answer of negative 32.25. So that's the answer that you're supposed to be getting. Diba? 27.5 over negative 32.5. So that one is negative. Diba? Then you convert that to positive. So therefore, that's negative 5 plus 27.5 divided by negative 32.25. We can simply simplify the fraction, diba? So 27.5 remove this negative, divide by 32.5. We should get this very strange answer. And it's supposed to be negative 0.85. Tapos, diba remember this one, it's negative 5 minus plus this guy. So that's supposed to be our answer. And hang on, it does not equal 7/3. It ends up with a very different answer. So therefore, our answer here is also extraneous. You know why? Because diba remember sa kabila, we are supposed to get 7/3. Pero we are not supposed to be getting that answer. Try ko sa ibang calculator. We'll be right back, ha? So, di ba remember kapag pinundot mo sa calculator, we have 2.5, di ba? 2.5 all divided by 3 times 2.5 minus 8. Di ba? Yan, that's in the first. Tapos, it's subtracted by 37 times 2.5. That's 37 minus a variable minus 120. All divided by negative 9 times 2.5 squared, di ba? Plus 24. Yes, correct. The answer that we got is way extraneous. It's negative 5.85 something, which is not the same as 7/3 which we got. So therefore, both of the solutions are extraneous. You know you're supposed to get the right answer. But sometimes when you get solutions, they may be extraneous because even though that you get the right answer, you solve for the value of x, you still have to double check. And we did not end up with the exact answer. Because dapat, like remember what we did here sa number 1? Diba remember negative 39 plus 3, diba? Negative 39 plus 3 is negative 36. Divided by negative 4, that's supposed to be negative 9. Negative 39 minus 6, negative 45 divided by 5 is negative 9. If you get both sides of the equation the exact same value, therefore this is a valid solution. But in here, there's no valid solution that can be formed. Even if you were to use 3/8, 8/3, or 5/2, neither of them work because 8/3 is an extraneous solution because that'll make your denominator equivalent to 0. On the other hand, if you use 5/2, that is not a valid solution either because 5/2 is not valid on this solution on the left. But on the right, it is equivalent to 7/3. So you both end up with different answers. So therefore, extraneous silang lahat. Extraneous, completely extraneous. Or in short, no solution defined. Wala. Sorry guys. Next, let's go to number 9. For number 9 in this equation, I have to write it for you because you can't even see it. The equation goes like this. It's m plus 5, 3m minus 9, all divided by 3m minus 9, minus 2m plus 18, all divided by 9m minus 7, I meant 9 pala, sorry. No, 27 pala, 27. Is equivalent to m divided by 3, that's 10 divided by 9. If you look at this equation, what do you think is the LCD here? Look at the denominators. The denominators are 4. Pero take a look at every denominator if you think that they can be factorable. Like we can factor out the binomials so that we can get the monomials, right? We can get the constants. So we can factor out 3m minus 9. So factoring that out, we should get 3 on the outside and negative 3 on the inside. So that becomes 3m minus 3. 3m, negative 3. This one, we can factor out 3 again here. Or we can factor out 9. And then we get n minus 3. So therefore, is 9m minus 3 our the LCD? Yes, it does. It is the LCD. 9 times n minus 3 is the LCD. Now, we multiply that to all sides of the equation. So this is my solution sheet that I've done here. We have m plus 5 divided by 3m minus 9 minus 18 2m plus 18 divided by 9m minus 27. O yan, diba remember, may subtraction na naman tayo. So therefore, yung 2m minus 18 plus 18, you have to distribute the negative to both sides. And then m plus 3 plus 10 divided by 9. So our LCD is 9 times m minus 3. Diba? That is the LCD. So you saw that in different colored inks. So the red is the first term. The blue is the second term. The green is the third term, right after the equal sign. And yellow is in the fourth term, right after the equal sign din. So red and blue are on one side, and green and yellow are on the other side. Para hindi kayo malilito, that's why I've done this solution sheet just for you. In different colors, para hindi kayo malilito. Tapos, yung naka-violet, that is the LCD or purple. The LCD is 9 and n minus 3. 9 times n minus 3. Now we can cancel out the m minus 3. On the red term, the m minus 3 is cancelled. And then the 9 divided by 3 is just 3. So we're just left to 3 times m plus 5 in the red term. On the blue term, we have 9m minus 27. And that can be factored out to 9 times m minus 3. They both cancel out. So therefore, you have plus 2m. Diba? Minus 2m plus 18. In which such that you have to distribute the denominator so that you can get. Oh yan, diba? Remember this is the real solution, diba? This is the real solution that I've done here. So yan, diba? That is our LCD. So 2m plus 18. So these guys cancel. And then on the green term, we have m divided by 3. So we multiply by the LCD, which is 9 times n minus 3. The m minus 3 is still there, but we have to divide both sides by 9. So by 3. So 9 divided by 3 is still 3. So it's 3m times m minus 3. On the last side, the yellow, we have 10 divided by 9. The 9's cancel and we're just left with m minus 3. Now I separate this into different forms. So now as you can see, we have this, diba? This one cancels and we're just left to 3 times m plus 5. This one, you negative 2m plus 18, it's just itself. Because the 9 times m minus 3's, they cancel out in the blue term. On the green term, we have 9 times m minus 3. The 9 and the 3 cancels. The 9 and 3 cancel, which changes the 9 to 3. 9 divided by 3 is 3. So it's 3 times m minus 3. And on the yellow term, the 9's cancel, so it's 10 times m minus 3. Now we apply the distributive property of multiplication. 3 times m is 3m. 3 times 5 is 15. Minus 2m plus 18. Diba, remember we're subtracting polynomials? So the thing we need to do here is to distribute. You just imagine you have a negative 1 here. So, diba, remember my negative 1 dito? So negative 1 times 2 is negative 2m. Negative 1 times positive 18 is negative 18. So that's on the left side. The red and the blue. So now we've already multiplied everything in the red term and in the blue term. And how about the green and the yellow? For the green term, we have a polynomial. 3m and m minus 3. 3m times m is 3m squared. 3m and times negative 3 is 9m. It's 9m. On the yellow term, 10 times m is 10m. 10 times negative 3 is negative 30. Now, combining like terms, 3m minus 2m is just m. 15 minus 18 is negative 3. So if we were to combine the like terms, we have m minus 3. 1m minus 3, diba? On the right-hand side, we add the m's together, so we're just left with 3m squared plus m minus 30. It's equivalent to m minus 3. Now we need to set that equal to 0. Subtracting 1m on both sides, therefore the m's cancel, and then adding 3 to both sides, negative 30 plus positive 3 is 3m squared plus 0m. Remember, any number multiplied with a letter, if it's 0, 10 times a variable, it's automatically goodbye, eliminated. Diba, remember like what we did here? Like for example, we have m plus 2 and m minus 2. M squared plus 2m minus 2m and then minus 4. These guys, they cancel, which makes it 0m. And 0m, goodbye. So wala na yan. Walang kwenta lang talaga yun. At para hindi kayo mahirapan, it will go like this now. It's going to be 3m squared minus 27 equals 0. Hey, you might feel sus about something because you may write that as a difference of two squares, right? Or you can just factor out the 3's because remember, factor this out because 3m squared and 27 are factorable by 3. So we divide both sides by 3, we get m squared minus 9 na lang equals 0. And 0 divided by 3 is just 0. Pero wait lang, there's more. Did you know you can solve this in two different ways? Either we can play the factoring method, which we've done here. On the left side, what two numbers that you can multiply together? 3 and 23 times negative 7 to give you negative 81. And not add to give you 0. And we know that's positive 9 and negative 9. Positive 9 times negative 9 gives you negative 81. Positive 9 minus negative 9 minus 9 equals 0. They even out. And then you can factor this out more. Diba? And you're supposed to get m plus 9, and then one of the 9s they can factor out to make it 3m, diba? You can also do it that way, pero double check. 3m times 3m, 3m squared. 3 times 3m, 9m. Minus 9m, 0, correct? And then 3 times negative 9, negative 27. So therefore, the variable is, m plus 3 equals 0, and 3m minus 9 equals 0. If you are to do this, diba, 3m minus 9, ganito siya. 3m plus 9 equals 0. Add 9 to both sides. 3m divided by 9. M is equivalent to 9 thirds. Diba? 9 thirds. And 9 thirds is the same as positive 3. On the other hand, we have negative 3 here. That's also one way that you can do this, alright? You can also do it this way. I did the factoring together, so when I multiplied them together in both situations, diba, remember I tried 3m and positive. 3 times 9 is this one, diba? So negative 3 times positive 9 is negative 27. Negative 3 times positive 3 is negative 9. 9 times m is 9m. Positive 9m. M times 3m, 3m squared. Cross out and you get 3m squared minus 27 na lang. On the right hand side, 3 times negative 9 is negative 27. 3 times 3m is 9m. Diba? And then n times 9m, 9m. So we still get the same answer. Right? We still get the same answer. And if I were to do 3m minus 9 plus 9 here, this will become 0. And then m is equivalent to negative 9 over 3. Divide both sides by 3. M is equivalent to negative 9 thirds. Or m is equivalent to negative 3. Diba? So two solutions. Either you do it the quadratic way, or you can take the square root. Diba? Remember, if you were to take the square root, that's m squared minus 9 equals 0. Shift the 9 to the positive side, and then you take the square root. And remember, when you take the square root of both sides, you will have two answers. It's either you get negative 3 or positive 3. But hang on. Diba, remember, I told you one of the answers does not fit here. Because we know that we're supposed to have an extraneous solution. Where was that I wrote? Yan, diba? Kasi nga, diba, remember, if we put positive 3 here, 3 times 3 is 9. 9 minus 9 is 0. So, hindi pwede. That'll make the function so undefined. On the other hand, 9 times 3 is 27. 27 minus 27 is still 0. So, hindi pwede talaga. It's extraneous. Kaya extraneous talaga yung value na yan. Now, we have to try negative 3 to verify if this works. To check your work, we have negative 3 plus 5, and then 3 times negative 3 minus 9. This one, let's use the 4 colors again to help you understand. There are my colors. So, let's work on the right first. Kasi nga right ang pinakamahirap. Ang pinakamadali. Diba, remember negative 3 over 3, that plus 10 over 9, that can be written as this form, diba? So, we have 9, and that becomes 3 times what gives you 9? Negative 9. And that is negative 1 over 9. So, dapat on the right side, we're supposed to get negative 1/9. Okay? That's the right answer. Okay? Kasi diba, remember, 3, get the LCD, that becomes positive 9. And then on the top, we have negative 9. Negative 9 plus 10, that's negative 1. Negative 1. Okay? So, dapat our answer is supposed to be negative 1/9. Let's check with the red and the blue to see if we get the same exact answer. So, negative 3 plus 5, that's supposed to be 2. Diba? And then 3 times negative 3, that's supposed to be negative 9. And that's negative 18. Diba? 2 divided by negative 18, which can be simplified to negative 1/9. Diba? Pero later na yan. And then, diba, remember, this is subtracted by this on the left term. The left, diba? So, on the left side, we have negative 1, 9. 1, 9. Tapos, on the blue term, we have 2 times negative 3. What's 2 times negative 3? 2 times negative 3 equals negative 6. Diba? Negative 6 plus 18, that's negative, ano yun? Positive 12. 9 times negative 3 equals negative 27. Negative 27 plus negative 27 equals negative 54. We can simplify the fraction. 12 over 54, that is the same as dividing both sides by 6. We get 2. 54 divided by 6 is 2 ninths. Diba? Two ninths. Right? And then going back to our literal equation, we have negative 1 ninth minus negative 2 ninths. We can just add this up and we're supposed to get positive 1 ninth. Teka. Ay, tama pala. Diba remember that's 1 ninth here on this side? Because diba remember negative 10 plus, sorry manito ako. Pero buti nga I tried to check the other to see if it's correct. So, diba dapat we're supposed to get positive 1 9. So positive 1 9 here on this side because positive 10 minus 9 equals positive 1 9. So tama, they are even. So therefore, this is a valid solution. 1 9 on both sides. 1 9 here and 1 9 here. So therefore, negative 3 is a valid solution. Check. Correct. For this last problem, this one we have a radical involved. Pero can we solve for the answer? Yes, we can. If you can just focus, that is of course kung mag-focus kayo, you can do this, okay? So now let's do the math. This one is very easy for you to solve, although it can be tough, pero this is still easy. But although there are lots of fractions, the first thing that we need to do is to disregard every fraction that you see. How do you do that? Look on the left. On the left side of the equation, we have variables, right? On the right side, we have fractions. So we need to eliminate all the fractions. So we need to simplify whatever's on the right side. So 10 over 3 minus 5. Let's simplify the fraction first. So ang ginawa ko dito, ang 10 thirds minus 5, ito yung 10 thirds minus 5 over 1. Or 10 over 3 minus 15 over 3. 5, diba? Over 3. Because 1 times 3 is 3 negative, so that's negative 15. So that becomes negative 5 thirds. That's on the numerator. On the numerator side, we have negative 5 thirds. Okay? On the denominator side, we have negative 37/6 minus 9 halves. We applied the LCD. Remember, it's just like what you did before when you were subtracting fractions when you were in pre-elementary or elementary. 2 times 3, 9 times 3, 27. Is equivalent to 10 over 6. Right? So that's our answer. So on the numerator, we have negative 5 thirds. And on the denominator, we have 10 over 6. Now, all we need to do is to divide them both. So negative 5 thirds divided by 10 over 6. Right? It's positive. Now, all we have to do is to interswap. Negative 5 thirds times 6 over 10. It's just like when you multiply and divide fractions, right? When you're in grade 6 or something. And then you can cross out. This becomes negative 30 and this becomes positive 30, which simplifies to negative 1. Or you can cross this out. This becomes 2, 2, negative 2 divided by 2. That's negative 1. So therefore, the answer we're supposed to get is negative 1. Now our equation is written as the square root of 3x minus 8. So we'll make it black, red na lang para sure. 3x minus 8 equals negative 1 over 3x plus 10. Now it's back to solving equations using radicands, which is tricky. Pero although it's not part of rational equations, but it's a good thing we just remove the fractions anyway. Now what do? We could do cross multiplication. On the left-hand side, the 3x minus 8 is still there, right? Square root. And then we do negative 1 times 3x plus 10. That's on the right side of the equation, right? Now what we do now? We have to distribute on the right side. The 3x minus 8 still stays. And the negative 1 times 3, negative 3x. Negative 1 times 10, negative 10. Diba? Now what do? The thing that we need to do now is to get rid of the square root. How do we get rid of the square root? We have to square both sides of the equation. So to square both sides of the equation, kung nag-square tayo dito, di ba remember what I tell you here? 3x minus 8, and then 3x minus 8, they are the same, di ba? So the square roots cancel. We just leave 3x minus 8 na lang. Like remember when I told you when you rationalize the denominators? When you have the square root of 2 times the square root of 2, that can be simplified to the square root of 2 times the square root of times 2. 2 times 2 is 4, and the square root of 4 is just 2. Just itself. Diba? So yan. Just like that. Pero whatever you do to the left side, you also have to do it on the right side. If you take the square of the square root, so that you'll be left with 3x minus 8 na lang, what do you do on the right side? You have to square the binomial. That's right. Square the binomial. So how do you square the binomial? Do you do like this? Let me show you, ha? Diba? We are 3x minus 8 na, diba? Do we do this? 3x squared minus 10 squared? No. Correct. Why not? Because look at the operation. The operation is subtraction. You can only do that if that is multiplication or division. So, hindi pwede ka mag-distribute ng exponent. So, with that, what do? You square the binomial. To square the binomial, we have 3x minus 10 squared. Diba? And you have to multiply this again. 3x minus 10, 3x minus 10. So, doing that, we're supposed to do something like this, diba? Squaring it. Now, back to our formula. This is supposed to be 100, positive 100. Negative 10 times 3x, that's negative 30x. Positive 30x. Diba? Negative 3 times negative 10, that's positive 30x again. Positive 30x again. And negative 3 times 3 is 9x squared. Very good. And now we have 9x squared plus 30x plus 100. Bring down 3x minus 8. Now what do? We need to set our equation equal to 0. How do you do that? We need to subtract both sides by 3 to get rid of this. Okay, whatever you do on the left side, you do it on the other side. Then add 8 here to add 8 here. So now we're just left with 9x squared plus 27x plus 108 equals 0. But wait a minute, look at the numbers. Can this be factored out? I think it can. Yes, it can. And if it can be factored out, what is the GCF? The GCF is 9. Very good. So now you can factor this out by 9. When you factor this out by 9, you're just left with x squared. 27 divided by 9 is 3x. 108 is 12. Equals 0. Dividing both sides by 9. Goodbye 9s. They cancel out. Walang kwenta man talagang 9 na yan. And then we're just back to quadratic equations. So when it comes to quadratic equations, remember what two numbers that you can multiply together to give you 12 and then add together to give you positive 3. What are those numbers? Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's right. We have to put x's here. What two numbers that you can multiply together and then add to give you positive 3. Diba? So yan. 4 times 3 equals 12. That can be done. Yes, that can be. But do you think it adds up to 3? No, it can't. So hindi pwede. I think I may get the wrong solution. I'm so sorry guys. I have to double check pala. Baka man mo I have something wrong on the list eh. So, di ba remember this my reference solution, di ba? So, ito yun. Di ba remember I tried this before? So, I tried to do something like this and we're supposed to get this answer, di ba? So, 3x minus 10. Mali, I have to switch. Yan. So, di ba remember that's supposed to be 60x pala? Ah, tama pala. That's supposed to be 30x. 60x pala to. Hindi siya 30. Sorry, guys. Because I thought kasi 30, we have to add. Kaya be very careful when you do math because remember, you don't want to end up with a bad formula. Okay? That's what I want to advise you lang. Just to be safe. Tsaka as far as I can remember, it's not negative 3. It's not. It's positive 60. Tsaka I think I remember the answer here pala was supposed to be negative 3/8. Negative 3/8. Kasi nga diba remember kung nag-add tayo ng 3, that was supposed to be 63. Tapos kung naging 63 yan, if I were to factor this out, this will be 9 squared plus 63 plus 108. If I were to factor this out, that would be x squared plus 7 plus 12. And if I factor this out, that's supposed to be x plus 4 and x plus 3. Para when I multiply this, 4x, so yun, tama. That's supposed to be 63 pala. Kaya I do not know why I have this 3 there. O baka man on the square root, I'm supposed to have negative 3x pala. It's just that I forgot pala. It's supposed to be negative 3x pala. Negative pala to, I'm sorry. So I have to make that negative 3x. Negative 3x minus 8. So therefore, that's what I'm doing right now. So dapat we have to have negative 3x pala here. Negative 3x. And then we add 3x to both sides. So therefore, we're supposed to have positive 63x. And then we apply the factoring method. So therefore, x can be negative 4 and x can be negative 3. Here we have to double check. Let's double check on our answers to verify if these were true. Okay? So, do you remember we have negative 4, negative 3 times negative 4 minus 8, diba? When we remember what is the extraneous in the square root? You're not supposed to have negative numbers, diba? Negative 3 times negative 4 is positive 12. And positive 12 minus 8 equals 4. Diba? The square root of 4 is just 2. Right? And then we have 3 times negative 4 plus 10. Diba? 3 times negative 4 equals negative 12. Plus 10 equals negative 2. Right? And take the square root of negative 4. We're supposed to get negative 2. Negative 2 divided by 2, negative 2 equals 2. Equals 1. Or negative 2 divided by negative 2, we're supposed to get negative 1 din. Because on the right side, we're supposed to get negative 1. Because we did the equation a while ago such that we are supposed to get negative 1. Diba remember this is the answer that we're supposed to get? Now let's try negative 3 naman. Kung naging negative 3 yan. So 3, I'll try to highlight using a different color. Negative 3 minus 8. We know that negative 3 times negative 3 equals 9. Diba? Positive 9 minus 8 equals 1. Take the square root of 1. And then on the denominator we have 3 times negative 3 plus 10. This becomes negative 9 plus 10. Which is equivalent to positive 1. And then take the square root of 1, divide by 1. Actually, when we take the square root of 1, it can either be positive 1 or negative 1. And negative 1 divided by 1 is still negative 1. So therefore, the answers are both correct. None of them are extraneous. So therefore, x can be negative 4 in the solution and x can be negative 3. Both of them works. So tama. And that's it, guys. That's our video for solving rational equations. Leave a like if this video had helped you. Bye!